the girl was dangerous because jealous people are dangerous. That's why they say never meet your heroes. And then there are relationships y'all be envying and y'all think you know everything, but you know nothing. The teacher does not speak when you're taking the test. People you know are filled with envy. You've got to cut ties with them at the white meat. This is the Ever Airwaves Think podcast, brought to you by Liv One Co, where we explore ideas that challenge, comfort, and clarify. I'm Liv, and in every episode, we break down life's complexities with intellect, insight, and a touch of curiosity. All right, we're on air. First and foremost, shout out to the one and only God. Over 15 countries tuned in to season 2 of Ever Airwaves Think podcast. And then the span of this podcast on all streaming channels from Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music, Audible, YouTube. I am so psyched. God never ceases to amaze me. I am so very, very grateful for you. Come on, queens. Y'all are here from all over the world, from the US, South Africa, Switzerland, Russia, Canada, Japan, UK, Romania, France, Bermuda, Netherlands, Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. Big up to the Caribbean island queens. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Australia, Italy. Okay, so now we're just waiting for the continent of South America to step into the building. Let's go. That's the only continent I'm waiting for, I think. Your access is granted, baby. Let's go. Tune in. Come on, South America, stand up. For real, y'all. Thank you so much. May you be blessed in a special way for just tuning in and loving the show. I am so appreciative, so grateful, and I'm here to inspire and motivate women to be, to have, and to live your best lives. On this podcast, we've been talking about how to take care of your mind, body, and soul. And today is no different. We're diving into something real, why you should always take idle threats from an envious person seriously. If someone has envy in their heart, it's never just harmless talk, and I need for you to settle on that. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Today, I'm going to break it down, all the way down for you, what envy looks like, how it affects your peace, and most importantly, how to protect your energy and keep living the life you deserve. And I have a little bit of a story time of my own personal situation. Before we get into the threats, let's talk about what envy really is. It's deeper than just jealousy. When someone's envious, they're looking at your life and saying, I want that, I deserve that. And instead of working to get it, they start very subtly working against you in a very devious type manner. And it could be something as simple as, oh, you always look so good. I can never pull that off. We all know that's not a compliment. It's envy wrapped in a cute little bow. They're not clapping for you. They are mad that they don't have what you have. Now, here's the tricky part. When envy shows up, it doesn't always come with big, bold actions. Sometimes it's the little things, the side comments, the sneaky digs, the backhanded compliments. We're familiar with that, right? And at first, it might seem harmless, but trust and believe, if you keep letting it slide, that energy will start to affect your peace. Let me tell you about a time I was a sophomore in college. Yes, another college story. Everything went down in college, right? But anyway, I had a roommate from hell. I was hoping that my roommate from my freshman year would be my roommate again for my sophomore year, but my good roommate too, she ended up moving off campus, got her own place with her bestie. So I was really upset and disappointed about that because she was hands down the best roommate I could ever have had. And we were both from 2 different tracts of the world. We were absolutely nothing alike, but got along so well. And she was the best. Back to my sophomore year roommate, that girl was the devil. You hear me? The absolute devil. I tried everything to get along with her and always keep the peace. And I felt like I was walking on eggshells around her because I was younger and I had skipped the 10th grade in high school. Yes, I was smart. Get into it. But anyway, I went to college early, a whole year early. So I left all my high school friends behind and everything. And it's just me again, as I shared before, I'm so independent and self-sufficient and that's just who I am. And anyway, I had a job all throughout college, a good one at that. And I also worked part-time job that I had worked. I had started actually the job when I was a freshman in college, and I worked about 20 to 30 hours a week. So my roommate, she always had more time in our room to herself. Well, things of mine always started to look out of place in our dorm room. I could tell she had rummaged through my pay stubs, although I had stuff pretty secure in my room. Like I could tell she had went through things. We had our own fridges. So like, the ones that are waist high, and she would go through mine and steal my food and go through my scrapbooks that I had of like pictures and stuff. And like, I could just tell like little things just was out of place and out of order because she never properly put stuff back. But I think she was doing that on purpose just to mess with me. She even unplugged our dorm room phone. Well, actually mine, and kept hers plugged in. We did have cell phones and all that good stuff, but it was easier to call from dorm to dorm around the campus. Like if you knew someone's last 4 digits of their number. So that was like the easier way than trying to remember someone's cell phone number. Anyway, at night for a few weeks, I started hearing her whispering through the night on the phone, talking about wanting to kill somebody. She wanted to kill this girl that had a baby with the man she wanted, and that she would basically do this by poisoning her with orange juice. Child, I was shook. Okay. I cannot believe what I was hearing. I was still in bed with one eye open and both ears on satellite. I could not believe the stuff she was saying. That girl was psycho. And then I remember moving around a little bit. We were in the pitch black dark at night, and she got up and walked over to my bed and was standing over me. And I had both eyes closed, and I pretended turning around on my side, basically, but still asleep. And she reached over me, and I was like squinting with my eyes because I'm like, oh my God, what is she about to do? And the only reason I could see what she was doing is because there's this campus light that kind of like beamed in my side of the window where my bed was. I thought she was about to choke me out, child. Okay. I thought she was about to put me in some type of maneuver, and we was going to be fighting. Okay. We was about to have a whole showdown. But anyway, this chick ended up reaching over me and unplugging my room phone that was next to me in my windowsill. And the phone was a neon green see-through landline phone. I really love this phone because it was like, you could see all the mechanical things inside of it. And this little red little light always stayed on through it, created this glow to let you know that the phone was plugged in. She unplugged my phone. I saw the whole thing and I'm thinking, okay, she's unplugging my phone because she thinks probably that I was picking up the other line or doesn't want me to pick up the other line to listen. But I don't even need to pick up the other line to listen. I can hear her clearly. She was a bad whisperer. When she talked low, I could still clearly hear the things that she was saying. So what she was doing was defeating the purpose anyway. Moving forward, the next day, I called my parents and they were like, go to the campus police station right now and file a report. And so I did. My bestie, she went with me. The police basically said it was more of an idle threat and they'd investigate it. I was like, they ain't about to do anything. And they were also like, oh, she's probably blowing off steam. You don't even know if this person's on campus that she said she was going to do this stuff too. And I was like, well, whatever. I just want it on file. That was that. Fast forward some more. I started staying in my bestie's dorm at night sometimes. Her roommate had dropped out of school. And so my bestie had an extra bed in her room, but her room was a lot smaller. It had a corner room, and the corner rooms in the dorms are always the largest rooms in the dorms. Things started to escalate to the point that I had been quiet long enough. And one day I came back to my dorm room after a campus event at night, and this girl had a voodoo doll sitting in her window. At first, I didn't realize it was a voodoo doll at first. I walked in and I was like, what kind of doll is that? But apparently she was not expecting me back to the room anytime soon because I was switching things up. One night I was staying in my bestie's dorm room. I just didn't want her to know my schedule anymore. When I went in, my fridge was wide open. And she had taken this General Tazo's, I think that's how you say it, correct me in the comments, this orange chicken dinner that I had gotten earlier in the day and put into the fridge. I really don't eat Chinese food, but anyway, that stuff was good. So I had bought it, but I hadn't eaten it yet. And I had put it in the room. And do you know when I walked in, this girl had my fridge wide open. She had eaten all the chicken out of the container and left scraps of rice. It was weird. Also, my orange juice was open. The lid was off of it, like the little screw lid that goes on the orange juice cartons. And I was like, I had never even opened it yet. This is crazy. This is the last straw. She had did enough going through my clothes and always talking slick stuff at the mouth about, oh, you got this, you got that, you got a job, you got extra money. And I'm like, girl, I work for everything, And she was like, oh, you grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth, which was not true. My parents, they did an excellent job raising us, but there was no silver spoon over here. Okay, absolutely not. I worked hard for everything. Been very independent, even worked 2 jobs in high school just because I'm weird like that. I was just really a go-getter at the time and always had this I can do anything mindset. Come to find out, she came from a very wealthy African family herself, but she had her own personal issues regarding her family and the strict household she lived in. And she also had a lot of negative things to say about African Americans in general. It was always just like this envious and jealous tone. I looked at my open fridge, my open orange juice, and my mind immediately went to like me overhearing her and remembering however long it was before where she was saying she was going to poison another girl's orange juice. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl done poisoned my orange juice. I turned around and looked back over at her and she was sitting in her bed just staring at me. And next to her was her voodoo doll. And it was a voodoo doll because I looked at the thing a little bit closer and I was like, why does that doll like favor me? The hair, everything, and the lips. I was just like, what? And it had her scrunchies like tied around its neck and it was like tied super, super tight. And I was like, oh, heck no. Nope. So I stood on top of my bed and I was like, girl, you crazy? Something's wrong with you. I don't trust you. You a killer. And I picked up my dorm phone and dialed the last 4 digits of my bestie's number because her dorm was literally in front of ours. So it took her like 3 minutes to just run over to my dorm room. And she had already called the campus police. So they were already on the way. And I was just like, you're a psycho. Or whatever. And so she was yelling back all kinds of crazy stuff, kind of talking in her mother tongue. I don't know what she was doing. I was like, Lord, I rebuke any type of spells or anything she casting over there because something is off and not right with her. Campus police came. We didn't physically fight or anything. So she did get to stay on campus, but they did inform her that there was already a police report on file because of the one I had put like 2 weeks prior. And she was not happy about that. And they moved her to another dorm. And, that was kind of like the last of that. I didn't see her because we didn't have the same major. She was always on a totally different part of campus. The situation was crazy. It was wild. I ended up throwing everything out of my fridge. But I probably should have went over to the School of Science and had it tested for poison because that girl was wicked. I don't put nothing past her. She'd probably be doing a prison bid now to this day had I let one of those chemists do their little experiment because I knew a couple of people in chemistry that knew their stuff and inspect my orange juice. But I was young and wanted her away from me quickly. Oh, psycho demonic self. She was full of evil. I can't stand a psycho. Those are the ones that have no limits or bounds. Their rage be on 10. The girl was dangerous because jealous people are dangerous. You think it's a game? After sophomore year, I heard she ended up leaving the school. I do hope she got the mental help she needed because she was the prime definition of self-hate. She always had that look of, and I'll do it again. Girl, bye. Not today, Satan. The gates of hell shall not prevail. Not on my watch, not on my clock, not me, girl. That girl hated herself while desiring to be and have what she wasn't. And that's what we call envy. You have to watch envious people. Envious people be the main suspects of unsolved mysteries. All right. Like they still out there looking for them right now. They the killers. They're the ones who want what you got. They're the ones who steal, kill, and destroy. Okay. It's given demonic. It was then in my college years, I realized at that point the extent people would go to when they covet what you have. And basically it's just jealousy that turns into envy and they want to become you. They want what you have. They want what you got. And by any means, they will come for you and they will come for what you got and they will take you out. If that's what they got to do, they're going to do it. If you don't do something about the jealous people in your life, whether it's a cousin, a so-called friend, a colleague, your enemy, an acquaintance, sis, you are playing with fire. For real though, I hope my former sophomore college roommate healed. She was my first real experience of having to deal with an envious person. Well, at least where I recognized it. There may have been others the more I think about it and the way I think about how things have played out, but I really recognize it with this chick. I used to never think people were jealous of me, and that's another whole story, but it's a real thing and you have to watch it. You have to watch it because they are watching you and they sitting already. Have you ever had someone envious of you? What did you do? How did you handle them? Give us the tea, girl, in the comments. SOS Queen, SOS. For my non-shameless plug, have you picked up my new book that just hit the shelves about 2 weeks ago? The 100 Commandments of a Black Queen by Liv, a book that instills in you audacious purpose to put on your crown and claim your queendom. It's so motivational and a badass. Bad AZZ. Y'all know I'm trying to keep it cute over here, okay? AZZ. It's available everywhere books are sold. My links are in the description of this episode. Big thank you to those that already have it, and a major shout out to the early reviews coming in. Clearly, all 5 stars is saying you love my book, and it's already been accepted and cataloged into the U.S. Library of Congress. Yes, let's go. If you love this podcast, you will love this book. Thank you for getting my book, and please rate and review, okay? I want to keep the steam in these retail platform algorithms, so I need your help with those rating and reviews. Idle threats. You know, when someone says something that seems like a joke but feels a little off, like, oh, you think you're all that now, huh? You know, sounds playful, right? But trust me, it's not a joke. Envy doesn't stay quiet. It festers. And when you let it slide, you're just letting them build resentment. They might be pretending to be cool with you, but deep down, they are hoping for your downfall. And people who are envious don't want to see you win. They might smile in your face, but inside they're plotting their own form of sabotage, whether it's gossiping behind your back or throwing shade whenever they can. These little things can ruin your peace. All of this makes me remember that movie called Single White Female. Do you remember that movie? Well, I'm not here to focus on the extra feelings that Hetty, the crazy roommate, had toward Allie. No. But this is about the lengths she went to in order to take over Allie's life. Allie was a successful, independent woman. Do you remember that? And she was trying to move on after breaking up with her cheating fiance. And she posted an ad for a roommate. Along comes Hetty, and Hetty seemed real nice at first, and she was quiet, helpful, and she was trying to be a good friend. But as soon as things kind of got off, they went real off. And then Hetty starts copying Allie's style, like her clothes, her haircut, even the way she talks. And at first it seems like it's harmless admiration, but then it spirals, and this girl starts trying to live Allie's life. She becomes obsessive, manipulative, and eventually violent. And Hetty's envy for Allie's life consumes her to the point where she's willing to do anything to replace her. And that's how envious people are. They are just people that want to replace you. You may not think so, but it's true. When people want to be you and have what you have, it's like something snaps inside of them in their brains, and they just start wilding out and they want to take you out. Hetty, she did all that evil stuff to Allie because her envy made her believe she deserved what Allie had, and it all started with innocent gestures. Because baby, I don't envy anyone. I don't want what you have. I don't want to be who you are. High key, I only want what I want and the desires of my heart God gives me. I don't want to be doing what you're doing. No, I'm not hating on the next one. I'm always rooting for women to win. Now, are there things I might like or be influenced or inspired by of someone else? Ding, ding, ding. But I still don't want it like they have it. So let me be the first to remind you today. No, warn you today, because warning comes before destruction. Stop envying other people. You don't know their story. You don't know their demons. You don't know their battles. You don't know their losses. You don't know their headaches. You don't know their moves, their motives. Sis, you just don't know. That's why they say never meet your heroes. Because child, some people you love today will have you hating them tomorrow when you meet them or get to know them. And that's just the way it is. Think about it. These are celebs people loved and were diehard fans and wanted to be and have everything they had until they met them. Naomi Campbell, iconic supermodel. She's broken many barriers in the fashion world, and most recently, she has been criticized for her charity mismanagement and trust issues and shifting how people view her legacy. Now, I love me some Naomi Campbell, okay? Come on with the Naomi Campbell walk, but people do say when they meet her in person, a lot of people say that she's mean, and that has changed their perspective about her. Tyra Banks. Another one. She is a strong example of a celebrity whose public hero status has cracked for many. She was admired as a supermodel, TV personality, and girl boss icon, but numerous former contestants on America's Next Top Model have claimed she was controlling, unsupportive, and even biased behind the scenes. And these allegations have challenged the nurturing mentor image many had of her. Now, I love me some Tyra Banks, but I'm just stating the facts of what people are saying. Not to say that they are facts. I'm just stating what people are saying. Does that make sense? I don't know. I love me some Tyra. I love how she's an icon. I guess over time, we'll continue to see how things play out for her. And then there are relationships y'all be envying, and y'all think you know everything, but you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing. Some of y'all are out here envying people's relationships, their status, wealth, achievements, but not me, girl. To me, and forever, always, things are a bunch of smoke and mirrors, smoke and screens, smoke and mirrors. You will never know what people are going through behind closed doors. I don't care how much you like them and are inspired by them. That's why you should always only want things in life how God has planned and designed them for you. And any other way would be the wrong way and potentially a hot mess. For example, Megan Good and Devon Franklin, for almost a decade, they were admired for their faith-based marriage and alignment. But in December of 2021, they announced a split, citing irreconcilable differences. That was so shocking. And everyone loved how Devon, he rode for his wife, defended her publicly for the most minuscule things because she was a preacher's wife and celebrity. I feel like she was just overly judged by everyday people. You could tell it really hurt her feelings. It really bothered her. And Devon really protected and comforted her as much as he could. But now she's married to Jonathan Majors, and Devon is remarried as well. But I can say we never saw Megan and Devon's divorce coming. We were all blindsided, just like Megan Good said she was blindsided when them papers came. It is what it is now, literally. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Their Bennifer reunion in 2022 stirred massive excitement. And then in 2024, Lopez filed for divorce, ending what seemed like a second chance Hollywood fairy tale. Jennifer Lopez is also another one that has become insufferable to me. Okay, God bless her, but something is off there. I don't know what it is. She always saying it's somebody else's fault. I really think she needs to hold some accountability, but people are saying that when they get to know her, they don't like her. Stop envying her relationships and what she has, because clearly something ain't working. Tia and Corey Hardick were married for 14 years. They were co-parents of 2 cute little kids and in love publicly. And yet in 2022, they quietly announced the end of their marriage. The surprise came because the relationship always looked so solid, but clearly it wasn't. Apparently a personally imbalanced marriage and relationship. Who would have known that Tia would have went on a whole world tour of being a divorced woman? That was weird and it was overkill. And it seemed like things have kind of calmed down now. But a lot of people envied that marriage. And I also think her divorce, I don't know how and in what kind of ways, but I think that was huge for her twin sister, Tamara, marry. And within there was some division, maybe because Tamara is a firm believer of sticking it through. They've known Corey for so many years before Tia and Corey were even married. So I think there was a lot of pain in that because divorces do also separate and bring division amongst families. I'm glad the twins are twinning again. Yes, the girls, Tia and Tamara Mowry, are twinning, and I see and feel the love, and I know that we're all happy for them. Lisa Bonet and Aquaman. Jason Momoa. Okay. We love some Jason Momoa. We love them for their free-spirited ways and their aligned energy. And they seem to have shared creative pursuits Their relationship seemed like a modern fairy tale. Yet in 2022, they announced their separation after 5 years of marriage, and even couples who look deeply in sync may not really be. So stop envying people's marriages. Stop envying what they have. Stop envying who they are. Also, another one that comes to mind, like, baby, I can give you a whole list. We can sit here for hours, for days, because people are envying people. But what about the supermodel Chanel Iman and Sterling Shepard? The model and NFL star paired up publicly with promise, 3 years of marriage, 2 daughters, social media love posts. Then in 2021, I feel like everything was happening in the pandemic because I keep saying 2021, 2022, but their split surfaced. I'm guessing the pandemic was like trial and error. Like, you gonna really find out if you gonna ride it out with someone. People really got to know who they were married to during the pandemic. So I feel like a lot of things happened and transpired, people being locked in together. But Chanel Iman and Sterling Shepard, their split really shocked fans. Like, it was very blindsiding. You know, we looked at them for stability and like this power couple, this perfect coupling, and this beautiful couple at that. But that doesn't always reflect the reality behind closed doors. Now, shout out to Chanel, because homegirl knows how to keep a man and lock him in. Okay. She's remarried now to another NFLer, and he's a big daddy. Okay. This got her a whole defensive line teddy bear. Okay. Sack that quarterback. Sack it. And I love it. I'm happy for her. But again, we are not to be envying these marriages, these relationships and people. And then, come on, couple number 1. We have to get into it. I would be remiss if I don't say this. I love me some Ciara and Russell Wilson, but a lot of you are envying her prayer and her marriage, her relationship. But please stop. Have your own prayer, have your own relationship, have your own marriage. We don't know the ins and outs of their marriage. And this is no way of me saying that I know, because I love them as a couple and love that Cece is winning after her trash ex Future, which I can say I do love Future's music. But you need to remember that people only show us on social media their highlight reels, meaning they are only showing you the best things in their life. However, some of y'all are menaces to society, but not me, girl, not me. Okay. Maybe not menaces to society, but I've come to see people airing out their dirty laundry on the internet. It might be entertaining for a while, but honestly, it's toxic. I can't tell you the number of people that I've blocked or stopped following because I personally don't want to see the ish. I get nothing out of it. It's not entertaining anymore. Actually pathetic and sad. I even quit Facebook over 10 years ago because of the toxic behaviors of people. And it was like zapping my energy. I don't want to hop on here every day and you're saying something negative, living negative, and pretty much taking us through a whole breakdown of your relationship, marriage, or whatever. However, on the contrary, I love me some Instagram because it's aesthetically appeasing and allows me to post from time to time my highlight reels. If you personally know me, you know I love to travel, so I'm into all of that stuff. But I can't deny things have been creeping over to IG over time from Facebook, wherever other places in social media apps. IG likes to test your algorithm often, so it's not always aesthetically pleasing like it used to be, as always, because I'm always looking for motivation, inspiration, or where I can celebrate someone. And it's really not my thing to sit here and find negativity. It just pops up in the algorithm and tests to see if you're watching or listening and tuning in for more than 8 seconds. If you're tuning in for more than 8 seconds, it's got you. And it's going to keep producing more content like that. Now, I love me some funny clips and whatnot and information sharing. But once things go dark, count me out. Count me out when it goes dark on the internet. I want no parts, and I don't want any of that energy on me at all. From a business perspective, yeah, me, my team, we're on there. We're looking for content, for things to talk about, discuss that are relevant, but I'm not personally on there for any negativity whatsoever. Again, you have to proclaim your wants, your needs, your desires, and dreams. Have it the way God wants you to have it. I promise you, God's way is the best, queen. It's always hard for us to see that because we go through trials and tribulations. And when we are tested in life, it seems like we are alone often, but you have to remember, you have to take everything that you know and have learned and have matured in and apply it to your test in life. Because one thing's for certain and two things for sure that I have learned on my own, that the teacher does not speak when you're taking the test. The test is for you to show and prove. It's for you to demonstrate your ability to move up to the next level in life. And God always rewards after you pass the test. Remember that. So if you fail your test, you will repeat that life lesson until it is instilled in you. So get with the program. This is practical information I'm giving you. God is not necessarily silent. He's cheering you on quietly when you're taking those life tests because he knows you are fully capable of acing those tests in life. But again, I say envying is for the birds. Don't envy anyone. Don't desire what they have. Have your own hopes, your own dreams, your own desires. Be who you are meant to be because you have no idea what you're truly desiring and wanting when you want what somebody else has. When you desire what somebody else has, you're also desiring it the way that they had it. Very problematic because you don't know the ins and outs, how they accomplished or achieved what they have. You have no idea. Envy is a dangerous thing, and it's not just about someone wanting what you have. It's about the resentment that builds up when they realize they can't have it. That envious person doesn't want to be like you. They want to be you, and that's a problem. Why do you think envy is one of the 7 deadly sins? Hello? It's right there with pride, greed, wrath, lust, gluttony, and sloth, right? And envy is a deadly sin because it's severe in nature. It's connected to moral transgressions that lead to damnation if not repented. So for people you know who are filled with envy, you've got to cut ties with them at the white meat, okay? Like it's the F and F rule for me. F around and find out, okay? But since I'm saved and glorified, we'll just say M and F rule, mess around and find out. But you get what I'm saying. Idle threats from jealous people are not to be taken lightly. I was reading over in the New York Post, and the top psychologists say that things you should do in handling envious people is set firm boundaries and limit access. Remember how I told you I started switching up my schedule on my crazy deranged college roommate so she would no longer know my comings and goings? You need to do that. And the other thing is, it says to trust your intuition. We all have gut feelings about people for a reason. If someone is in your circle, if their behavior is off, you're right, it's off. And you need to take appropriate precautions to protect yourself. The bottom line is, envy isn't just harmless. Idle threats from envious people are real, and you need to take them seriously. Protect your energy, set boundaries, and always, always, always trust your gut. Your life is sacred, and you're the only one responsible for keeping it intact. Don't let anyone steal your peace or disrupt your glow. Thanks for listening to the Ever Airwaves Think podcast. If today's episode made you elevate, share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep questioning until you have those answers. I'm out.